Alrighty, so Rose Stein here coming to you on Tuesday Power Lesson, which is awesome. I'm super excited. This is one of my favorite topics, my favorite ideas. This is really the foundation. This is the underneath of all of it. It is about mindset. It is about gratitude. It is about beliefs. It is about the words that we use to describe our experience. If you're really looking for a transformation, right, which is what I think people are looking for. I mean, we say that we want weight loss, but when I really get down to talking to each of you individually, it's a sense of freedom. It's peace of mind and freedom to come and go, to feel good in our bodies, to say yes when it's appropriate, to say no when it's appropriate, to have the ability to move through life with that sense of peace, that sense of comfort, and knowing that we can trust ourselves wherever we go, and having whatever habits of thought and whatever habits of action in place so that we don't have to rely on our willpower every moment of the day to get us through. So this is really the foundation of that. If that is one of the things that you were looking for, like what's underneath that I can begin to lift myself up. I can begin to build that solid foundation so that I'm not just standing on quicksand and as soon as I lose the weight, I'm going to gain it right back again. That is no way to live. We've done that. I've done that. I can't tell you how many times. And there is like moments of peace and serenity, either going up or going down or whatever, whatever the experience is. But really what we're looking for is that solid foundation. So regardless of what storms may come, what winds may come, what pandemics may come, but whatever, right? The seasons of change in life, that we are standing on firm ground. And that is a very personal experience. That is not something that anyone else can give us. That is our own experience. So let's talk a little bit about how we create that and how we make that transformation, because that's really what the whole point is, right? I mean, you can go online or buy a book or whatever if you want to just a diet. I mean, they all work if you do them. There's something else going on here when it comes to health and vitality and self-worth and body image. That is this missing piece, this missing link. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's get this one going here. Perfect. I'm going to go in presentation mode so that you can really see the whole thing, what's going on here. And so what we're going to be talking about today is water, gratitude, and goals. Now, these three things might seem kind of separate. One's just like this physical thing. Yeah, you're supposed to drink water. Gratitude, we're in the month of gratitude. Everyone has been talking about gratitude. We know about that. And then, of course, goals and how we set goals and how we achieve them and how we move forward. So there is a way in which all of these three come together. And by the end of this presentation, I'm sure that you will have many aha moments. In fact, as I'm going through this, I would love for you to jot down in the comments, to own it, to claim it, to share it, to help others that are watching live or watching on the replay later begin to identify those aha moments for themselves as well. When we speak these things out loud, when we say them, when we write them, when we share them, when we get that response back from the world, that it increases by tenfold, right? Like the power of 10. It increases the positivity and the power of it and the resonance, because we've all had many aha moments in life. We've all been like, oh, now I get it, and I'm going to do this. And then we still don't stick with it. So what needs to happen for that shift that we have in those aha moments to translate into actual results long term? And one of the ways in which we do that is when we step up, we stand up, and we help someone else. So every time that you comment, every time that you encourage other people, you like what they're saying, you comment back, you are creating that energy in yourself. It's not just a giving to somebody else. It has to come through you. Okay, so that is my pitch on showing up and being present and participating in your own transformation. This is where you're really going to get the value from what it is that I'm talking about here and really get the results that you desire, most importantly, that you deserve. And I know that that piece is really tough. And that's why I say it almost every time. Yes, you do deserve to be healthy and free. Okay, so let's talk about learning fast. So what we want to do here in the F is we want to remember to forget or forget to remember. There are things that are they're worth forgetting. So what you think you know about this topic, go ahead and take some time right now to just empty your cup, to allow some new ideas or some new information to kind of flow in. You can organize it and categorize it and figure out what you want to do with it, or just empty that cup, throw that thing away if you don't want it later, of course. But anytime we're coming into an experience where we're learning from another person, we want to be open-minded. So go ahead and just empty your cup right now, let it all kind of flow out, and be open to what it is that I'm saying here, the way in which I'm going to piece these three seemingly separate things together. The next in the fast learning is the A, the active. This is your life. I kind of already pitched this just a second ago. Participate in it, show up, claim it, own it. It's been said that if you have a problem where the solution is action, you don't actually have a problem. I'm just going to let that sit there for a moment. So A, be active, participate in your own healing and your own transformation. Again, you deserve it. You deserve to be happy and healthy and free. So the S here is going to be state. So that's like your state of mind. So information plus emotion equals memory. You want to have those results last long term. You want those aha moments to translate into real transformation. Information plus emotion equals memory. You want to remember the things that you want to remember. So add some feeling into it, attach it to an emotion that is invigorating. And that's where the gratitude comes in, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. So your locus of focus is right here, right now. We start tripping on the past stuff and we literally fall down, right? We're literally tripping. We get into a depressed state. It can be very frustrating when we're thinking about past stuff. So with great responsibility comes great power. You are responding to your own abilities. You have the ability to change, to transform, to think differently, to act differently, to step up and to participate. If you want to have hit bottom, like I was talking with one of the ladies yesterday, it's like you got to stop digging. Right? There's always a trap door underneath there. If you're waiting for some miracle to happen where you're going to suddenly get the motivation, or on January 1st or after the holidays or when the pandemic is over, BS. There is always, always, always going to be a trap door underneath the trap door if we keep digging that hole of waiting, of procrastination, of it's not the right time. All of those excuses, they're never ending. The time at which you actually are going to see results is when you stop making excuses and you start taking some responsibility. Be curious. It doesn't need to be all or nothing, right? When I say take responsibility, it's not like, okay, tomorrow morning you're going to be meditating for a half an hour. You're only going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to cut this out and cut that out. You're not going over here. It's not this laundry list of stuff. Just be curious. With an open mind, empty your cup, be willing to take some positive action, 1% better each day, and just be curious as to what your heart has to offer you. What is your heart saying? If we're not tripping on the past and we're not freaking out about the future, because if we're thinking about the future and it's not positive and uplifting, really what we've done is we've just dragged the past into the future. And that is not how you create the vitality and the health that you deserve and that you desire. So the T here is going to be teach. Share everything that you learned. Help somebody else. Inspire them too. Give and you shall receive. As you are sharing your aha moments, as you are even sharing your pain, let other people see you, help you, serve you, be there. So as you are stepping up into this moment and you are willing to share what's going on with you or support other people, that is you participating. That is you actively participating in your own health and healing. Okay, so let's get down to it. Let's talk about water first. So, like the super basics here, right? Is it's one of the 6 essential nutrients. You're hearing me talk about the 6 essential nutrients a lot. Essential meaning that you have to get it from the outside world. Your body doesn't make water. It's made up of water, but you lose water every time you talk, every time you breathe, every time you go to the bathroom, every time there's any kind of digestion going on at all. So it constantly needs to be replaced, and we have to get water from the world. That's what an essential nutrient means. For life, for you to survive, you must take this nutrient and put it into the body by eating or drinking things that are water, have water in them. So hydrated means that your body has plenty of water to function properly. If we are hydrated, then we are feeling good. If we are dehydrated, that means that your body does not have enough water to function properly. Now, homeostasis is the tendency towards a relatively stable equilibrium between interdependent elements. So one of the things that I think of, there's 2 things that I think of on the top of my head when I think about the body being in homeostasis. Temperature, your body temperature is one of them. We know that somebody is not well if their body temperature is just a few degrees high or a few degrees low. Like whatever your normal is, you basically stay there regardless if it's 40 degrees outside or 120 degrees outside. Your body has a way to regulate that so that you can stay alive. That homeostasis is extremely important. And if your body stops being able to regulate that balance, then you become very ill. You pass out, you can go into a coma, you die, whatever, that happens. Okay, so those are just some basics about water. So when we're thinking about water, how important is it really? Well, it's very important. It is most of our cells, our muscles, our brain, our blood. A few weeks ago, we were talking about our lymphatic system, which is about 95% water. That's what kind of flushes our system out of toxins and things like that, helps us feel energetic and vibrant and alive. And so water is necessary for that system as well. Of course, our digestive system, we all know what happens. You get constipated, right? When you don't have enough water in your diet or it's being used for other things.
Most of us do not drink enough water. Symptoms of dehydration include dizziness, lack of concentration, irritability, and headaches. Aim to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day and you will stay well hydrated.
I thought that was kind of fun. You know, it's interesting that dizziness, lack of concentration, irritability. I mean, we kind of all know about headaches, right? They actually did a study where there, you know, of course, there was the, you know, the control group and the group that took, you know, there was like, you know, Advil and Tylenol and things like that. They wanted to know like which one works better. And they found that actually the group that just drank a glass of water had the same benefit as anyone that was taking any kind of medication for the headache. So sometimes we just are not drinking enough water and really it's the water. So that's definitely good to keep in mind too. Another thing is that maybe we're not eating enough vegetables and fruit in our diet. They also carry a lot of water. That's another way to stay hydrated. Not just drinking a glass of water. And no, sorry, ladies, coffee and beer and wine do not count as water. They are not hydrating. Okay. It is water, plain, clear, fresh, revitalizing, wonderful water and some teas. Although if it's got a bunch of caffeine in it, then it's actually dehydrating. So just make sure that you're eating lots of veggies, you're eating lots of fruit, that they are fresh and alive and vibrant, and you're getting some water and you're drinking some fresh, clear, revitalizing, wonderful water as well. So, water in your body, here's a little bit more vocabulary. It's a reactant. So, it helps reactions happen in the body. And we want that, right? We want cells to grow. We want to have digestion. We want energy. It's also a solvent. So, there's water soluble vitamins that can only travel to the cells and do their job when we have sufficient water in the body. So vitamins like our B's and our C's, I mean, we can be taking supplements all day long or eating good foods all day long, but if we don't have enough water for these to be absorbed properly and utilized properly, our body can't use them. Water is also a lubricant. It helps protect the spinal cord and acts as a lubricant and cushions our joints. Again, when we are dehydrated, then our joints and our spine don't feel very good. It also regulates, remember what we were talking about, controls and maintains that homeostasis, your body temperature. And that's one of the reasons why, like, if you are closer to the land, there's less variation in temperature, even on the earth, because if you're, I mean, I'm sorry, if you're closer to the water, if you're closer to like the ocean or a big body of water, because it helps stabilize temperature. If you're more inland, it can be a little bit more dramatic in the high highs and low lows. Okay, so we know the basics of water. Okay, now we're kind of getting into the good stuff, right? It's necessary. It does a lot of wonderful things for our body, which is really nice. But it's two hydrogens and an oxygen. It's most of the earth, it's most of our body. We need it to survive. It cushions the organs, it flushes out the system, it helps digestion, maintains body temperature. Yay, water is wonderful. And it's kind of interesting, right? Like, how is it possible that hydrogen, which is a colorless, odorless, highly flammable gas, chemical element of one, and then oxygen, also colorless, odorless, reactive gas, chemical element of atomic number 8, and the life supporting component of air, how is it that these two things come together to create something so essential to the foundation of life, something that we can touch and that we can drink and that we need for the functioning of life on earth? Literally all of life on earth pretty much depends upon water. That is one of the things that people look for when they are looking for life on other plants, is does it have water, because then it can probably sustain human life as well. Okay. This is awesome. So check this out.
This is what it is, okay? I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
This is a water droplet that you're going to see. And in this water droplet, a frequency is being pumped into this water droplet. As the frequency planetary shift of this pulse, patterns of energy must change to respond to that, just as patterns of energy in this water are changing to respond to this pulse. And we'll begin with simply the concentric patterns in the water. As the frequency begins, every once in a while we'll reach a key threshold resonance, such as that moment right there. And in that key threshold resonance, the entire pattern morphed into a more complex expression of itself, simply because the frequency changed. Now watch what happens. The frequency is still increasing. Now watch what happens. As we reach another key threshold resonance, this entire pattern will morph into a beautifully...
So this is so cool. I highly recommend that if you were into this at all. It comes from these people who did The Secret, that movie, The Secret. So he's talking about water and a droplet, a molecule of water, and the way in which it changes due to the energy around it, the frequency that the water is being surrounded by. So if you think about the energy that you put out when you're in that state of real deep gratitude, when you're in like love, right? When you look at somebody that you love, like this is the way that I feel when I look at my son and I think about my son, it is almost overwhelming. And I can feel it in every single cell of my body. And this is probably what my cells look like, because the frequency, the energy, the love, it's so powerful and so wonderful that I can literally feel it all the way throughout my body in every cell. I can feel it in my hair almost. And a very similar thing begins to happen for me, and I'm sure for you as well, that when I am in that state of fear and lack and judgment of myself and trying to control and just wanting it to be right and really going into that place, there is a completely different vibration. There is a completely different energy that is beginning to go on inside of myself and inside the world around me. So let's think about this for a moment as we begin to acknowledge the power of what's going on here. So to me, where this comes in, and I really am beginning to understand on a deeper level why prayer works so well, or one of the many reasons. The secret power of prayer underneath, because of course, I mean, I'm sure that you've prayed before or during a meal before, right? Or what about before bed? Why are those two times so important? Why have we as human beings got into this really incredible habit? Like really, I mean, it's a spiritual practice. Honestly, it really doesn't matter like what type of religion or spirituality that you claim. It's pretty consistent that first thing in the morning, last thing before bed, before a meal, before we're going into like an important conversation, there is this moment of pause where we take some time to think about what it is that we're doing and be grateful. Now, there's a reason for that. And one of the reasons is that food is mostly water, right? So when we're going into a meal, if the energy that is around food changes the molecular structure of the water, then praying and being grateful for something as you're then putting it into your body helps your body deal with that food at a much higher level, literally, regardless of what it is. I would love to say that you should all be eating, steamed broccoli and steamed chicken. I don't recommend that unless you like it, whatever. But it's not always exactly what it is that you are eating. Oftentimes it is the attitude that we're going into it with. Think about what happens to every cell in your body, and your body is mostly water. Every single cell has water. If what you're thinking while you're eating it is, I shouldn't be doing this is bad, this is naughty, I'm going to have to work this off later, maybe I should get that much more, I hope Rose doesn't see me, like whatever the drama and trauma is inside the mind, if we're having these kind of thoughts, your thoughts resonate, your body hears you, your cells hear you, the food hears you, and it begins to change and transform your relationship with the food and the way in which your body can digest it. I know that this might sound a little bit weird, but I know you have probably also experienced it. It is a very different experience. I'm sure that not many of us pray before we eat ice cream, right? Because it's kind of like, oh, the TV's on, we have a little, it's dessert, whatever. But we are having intention before we eat dinner. It's a very different experience. And also before bed, right? So if your mind and your body is mostly water, then setting that really positive intention and getting clear and having all of your cells vibrate on that positive gratitude level before going into sleep, where your body is then able to rest and digest and cleanse. So all the different organs have a circadian rhythm and they begin to cleanse at different times during the night. And when we move into sleep with that intention first, with that positive energy, it makes it so much easier for your mind and your body to do what it needs to do so that you can wake up feeling refreshed and alive. What does this mean for your weight loss journey? So listen, what if during 10% of your day, your thought life, so your thinkings and patterns of thought, like when you noticed them, was kind to you? what would that allow you to do? What new thoughts would you be feeling if your thoughts were kind? Not forcefully kind, really kind. And what if it was more of like 20% of your day? And then over time it became 30 and 40 and 50. How much of your day would you need to have be kind and compassionate and loving thoughts for you to be able to know that that is now your habit of thought? So gratitude is an incredibly great way to make some changes in our life. So with great responsibility, it comes comes that great power. And with responsibility, you are responding to your own abilities. Now, have you ever been given the suggestion to make a gratitude list? I'm sure that we all have, especially now, right? It's like the month of gratitude. Did you know that gratitude can help you lose weight and create health? It is one of the basic foundational ways in which we make the kind of changes and transformations that last a lifetime. So here, go ahead, write down 3 things that you are grateful for every single day. In fact, maybe write down 3 people that you are grateful for. 3 people that have changed and transformed your life. 3 people that when you think about them, you smile. 3 people that maybe check in on you, right? Or maybe 3 people that you'd like to check in on. And then go ahead and tell them. That was actually one of the lessons and challenges that I had. To thank you, Miss Marion Knopp. She took it to another level. It's not just writing it down, then take some action. Take action and speak those words out loud. You will hear them, they will hear them. It intensifies and magnifies the benefit for you. Okay, so let's get to the last part. This is my favorite part. We're going to be going over the water crystals. Let's get some volume here. Can we hear it?
Mr. Emoto's work provides factual evidence that human vibrational energy, thoughts, words, ideas, and music affect the molecular structure of water. Please remember that water comprises over 70% of a mature human body and covers the same amount on our planet. Water is the very source of all life. This photo shows the beautifully formed geometric design of the Yushi Spring water. This next photo is from the Shimanto River, the last clean spring in Japan. Notice the extraordinary geometric forms. The fact that the molecular structure of water can be affected by our consciousness, our intent, and our sounds is extremely important. This photo is from the Mount Cook Glacier in New Zealand. Mr. Emoto has been visually documenting these molecular changes in water by means of his photographic techniques. He freezes droplets of water, then examines them under a dark field microscope that has photographic capabilities. His work clearly demonstrates the diversity of the molecular structure of water and the effects of the environment upon the structure of the water. This photo is from the fountain in Lourdes, France. This photo is from contaminated water from the Yodo River in Japan. In this photo, we can compare the contaminated water with clean stream water. Look at the difference. Mr. Emoto decided to see what effects music would have upon the structure of water. He placed distilled water between 2 speakers for several hours while playing different music and then photographing the crystals that formed after the water was frozen. This photo is of water being exposed to Beethoven's Pastorale. This photo is the effect of Bach's Air for the G string on the water. This photo is water exposed to Chopin's Farewell Song. This next photo is water being exposed and affected to music that was designed for healing. This photo is of water being exposed to the Kawachi folk dance. This photo shows the effect of heavy metal music upon the water. Here now we can compare the effects of healing versus heavy metal music and what happens to the water molecules. Mr. Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water crystals by typing words onto paper and then taping this paper onto glass bottles overnight. This photo shows the effects of the words, "Thank you." This next photo shows the effects of the words, "Love and appreciation." This photo shows the effects of the words, "You make me sick, I will kill you." And here we can compare the effects of "thank you" with the "you make me sick, I will kill you." Very, very different geometric forms being incurred through the intention. Now this photo is of a very polluted and toxic water from the Fujiwara Dam. Here now is the same water from the Fujiwara Dam after a Buddhist monk had offered a prayer over it. Prayer, that sound coupled with intention, seems to have an extraordinary ability of restoring water to its natural, harmonious, geometric symmetry. And in this photo we can compare the toxic water and then the effects of praying over the water. It's really quite impressive. These photographs that we have just seen show proof that not only does sound have the ability of affecting and changing physical structure, but that with regard to the molecular structure of water, that our intent with our sound is extremely important. This may have great implications for the future of both personal and planetary harmony and healing.
Oh, ladies, so wonderful. What a way to really take ownership of our health and our vitality. It is so wonderful to be empowered in that way, that every single cell in your body has some water in it, that you can affect just by your thoughts. And if you're like a little bit overwhelmed because you're realizing that most of your thoughts are pretty negative and down right now, that's okay. Start small, 1%, and just creep those happy thoughts in there. Start writing down a gratitude list. Start making comments below. Speak it out into the world. Think those thoughts. Begin to take positive action right now. And of course, be grateful. I know that we focus on the gratitude just one day a year, and we like stretch it out into a week and now into like the whole month. People are talking about gratitude and gratitude lists and gratitude journals and being thankful for each other. It makes a difference. We talk about that stuff because it works. It works. And it makes a difference on a literal cellular level. You want to start feeling better, you've got to start thinking better. You got to start really believing that you can be the transformation. You can be the happy and healthy and joyous and free person that you know is inside of you underneath all of that frustration and fear and negativity. So this is one of the things that I do in terms of my SMART goals. I make sure that I am planning and preparing success for myself, that I am taking action. It soothes the mind. The worst thing that I can do for myself is wait until I'm hungry to decide on what I want to eat. So what I do is I write my food down the night before: breakfast, lunch, dinner, healthy, fresh, alive, and vibrant foods. All right, just get some balance. I'm going to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just jot it down. Do you need to be perfect? I sure hope not, because still human. So hardcore permission to be human with a little bit of compassion and a little bit of kindness for ourselves, we can take one step forward. So what I do is I commit it. I commit it to myself. I commit it to my higher power. I commit it to my group, just one day at a time. Keep it really simple. We don't need to think about all the things that we need to eat to lose 20 pounds. No, all I want to do is keep it in one day. I got to keep it in the present. I got to keep it in what I actually have energy for. I don't have motivation energy for tomorrow, right? I don't have it for next week. I don't have it for next year. I have it only for the moment that I'm in. All right, ladies. So we talked about SMART goals being specific, measurable, attainable, and realistic. But you know what? We probably all heard of those. What about dumb goals? What about allowing our dreams to come forth? What about being dream driven? What about thinking beyond our present circumstances? Utilize the gift that we've been given as our imagination, to think beyond our present circumstances, to think beyond the past failures, to think about something a little bit brighter, a little bit different, a little bit calmer, a little bit nicer. Think of something that is uplifting and inspiring to you, right? Again, even if it's only for one day, as you look into your future, it's like, okay, well, if I drank a little bit more water, if I got a little bit more veggies, or maybe I need to write out that gratitude list or call so-and-so that we haven't spoken to in years and just say hi, right? What about, we want the method to be friendly. If you are not feeling anything that I've just said, go ahead and leave it out then, right? But if something has sparked your interest and it feels friendly, go ahead and do it. Allow the method to be kind and compassionate for yourself. And then of course, behavior driven. You got to do something, right? You got to think something different. You got to do something different. You got to take some kind of action, even if it's just commenting below. I'm always going to encourage you to comment below. Speak it out loud. Tell yourself, walk into the bathroom, look in the mirror and say something nice to yourself, and keep saying it until you believe it, gosh darn it, because you deserve it. Okay, so we're talking about the 5 pillars of freedom. It's what we eat, what we drink, what we think, what we do, and what we say. And of course, we have that hypnosis session. So you all should have access to a free little 5-minute little sample that I gave you guys. Words matter. Relaxation matters. Your ideas, your thoughts. You want to use your imagination to think beyond your present circumstances and begin to create the life that you desire. And I'm sure that that life includes a calm, peaceful mind with nice, compassionate thoughts about yourself and the world. Voice, use the voice, use sound. It has power. The words that I am saying have power in my body. If you are listening, they have power in your world. There's never been, everything always starts with this one day. I heard this thing, or I thought this thing. All right, your words have power, and be expectant. Begin to expect miracles. A miracle is just something that we didn't realize could happen, and it happens. Be looking for that. All right, ladies, you are wonderful and amazing. I have certainly talked long enough. That was so fun. That is one of my favorite presentations, is to talk about what's really going on that deep internal cellular level. And why taking a breath and saying nice things to ourselves, it works. And even better if you can feel nice things about yourself. All right, ladies, you are wonderful and amazing. Make sure that you leave a comment expressing your gratitude, saying it out loud, and sharing it with the world. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.